Okay, so the next way we're going to talk about factoring is factoring when there's 4 terms, and you do that by grouping. So if we are going to be grouping these, what we can do is we can add parentheses around the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. And you can do that for both of these. Okay? This didn't change the value of anything because we're adding 2 polynomials together. We're allowed to just drop the parentheses, and it's not a big deal. It's the exact same thing. So then what do we do from there? Well, you look for a greatest common factor. So what's the biggest number that goes into both 6 and 8? It would be 2. So I'm going to write a 2 out front. What's the biggest number that goes into x squared and x? It will be x. So I'm going to write x up front. Then I have to figure out what's still on the inside. So 2x times, this would have to be 3 in order to get to 6. X times x in order to get to x squared. The minus sign. 2x times 4, 2 times 4 would get me 8, and x times 1 would get me x. So far, so good. So now what we're going to do is we have that plus sign still. And we have to look for the greatest common factor in this one. The greatest common factor between 3 and 4, they don't share any factors other than 1. So 1 has to be our greatest common factor there, which means if we pull out 1, we're not changing the inside of that at all. Now what we have is 2 terms. We have 1 term, 2 terms, and those also have a greatest common factor. You'll notice that these parentheses match, and that's our greatest common factor. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull that out front. And what would be left on the inside if we pull that out front? It would be 2x plus 1. And now we have our 4-term polynomial into factored form. Over here, we'll do this one over here as well. Greatest common factor, GCF, between 3 and 12 would be 3. Between x squared and x is x. 3x times x would give me 3x squared. Minus 3 times 4 would get me 12. And I don't need anything because it already has the x. All right, there's the plus sign. Only a 1 can be pulled out of this one also. Usually, I mean, it's not always going to be a 1. It just happened to be on these 2 examples. So x minus 4. Notice the parentheses match. Again, you're looking at 2 different terms here. They have a common factor of x minus 4. And what will be left if you pull that out of both of those terms is 3x plus 1. And we factored a 4-term polynomial into factored form.